Good morning. This is Chair French convening the regular business meeting of the Kansas Corporation Commission for February 10th, 2026, joined by my colleagues, Commissioner Keen and Commissioner Keither. On today's agenda, we have a large consent agenda, 59 items on our consent agenda, and we have 3 noticed items. So we will dig right in. Commissioners, we'll start with that consent agenda. You've had the opportunity to review all 59 items on the consent agenda. Let me ask at this time if there are any questions with those items, beginning with Commissioner Keither.
Well, I sort of have a question. There are over 20 things on the consent calendar for transportation, and I just was curious. That's a large number all at once. I just wondered how that occurred, whether it was just
Sure.
all the reports coming in at the same time or.
We do have Mr. Latif on, and we've got Brian Pedotin, our general counsel. Do either of you have anything to add to that for the number of motor carrier items?
I don't think it was a plan. I think it just happened that way.
Happened that way.
We had some orders. I think we were there for UCR suspensions. There were several of them that got processed recently, and so that may account for some of them.
Okay.
But it wasn't we didn't plan to hit you all at once.
Didn't hold them back to spring them on us all at once. Okay. I was just astonished at the number. I mean, it just seemed, wow, a lot. But thank you. I appreciate
A
that.
lot of reading this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions? If that's all, Commissioner Keither,
it is.
Commissioner
Okay, yeah.
Keen, any questions on the consent agenda?
No questions for me. I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. The consent agenda is approved. We will now move to our noticed items. Our first noticed item is in docket number 264REE 066COM, and this is a proposed order on complaint in that docket, and our presenter is Mr. Brian Pedotin. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, commissioners. This complaint arises out or involves Mr. Keem, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He has some property that he wanted electric service to, and he is in territory that's certified to Four Rivers Electric Cooperative. He was hoping to get a bid from Evergy, who's got the adjoining service territory. He thought they might be able to provide him a lower connection cost. And the commission found that Mr. Keem had established a prima facie case, and Four Rivers filed its answer explaining that they were unwilling to release their certified territory to Evergy or anybody else. And commission staff filed a report and recommendation explaining that Four Rivers' proposal to provide service is reasonably efficient. And even if somebody else was able to provide more efficient service, the Retail Electric Suppliers Act, RESA, gives Four Rivers the right to serve that territory. And since Four Rivers was unwilling to release its certified area, staff recommended dismissing the complaint. Neither Mr. Keem nor Four Rivers responded to staff's report and recommendation. This order denies the complaint, explaining that and adopting staff's R&R, basically explaining that RESA applies, and Four Rivers has exclusive rights to provide electric service to the property in question. With that, I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Pedotin. Are there any questions on this item, beginning with Commissioner Keither
No questions.
and Commissioner Keen?
No questions for me either. I'd move approval of the order.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the order as described in this docket. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We now move to our second noticed item. This is in docket number 26 DPAX 124 PEN. This is a proposed penalty order in that docket, and our presenter for this item is Mr. Hassan Latif. Hassan, go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning again, Commissioners. The penalty order before you assesses a penalty of $39,600 to Kansas Gas Service, a natural gas public utility, for violations of the of the Kansas Underground Utility Damage Prevention Act, and also federal pipeline safety regulations that are adopted by Kansas. This order is included as a notice item because of the size of the penalty being assessed. The penalty order compiles multiple violations, alleging that on dates between January 1st and December 31st of 2024, there were at least 36 instances where KGS failed to provide or improperly provided excavators with the location of buried facilities before excavation began, resulting in damages to gas lines. And the order assesses a penalty of $1,100 for each violation, and the total is $39,600. According to staff's R&R, there were 412 notices of probable noncompliance issued to KGS between 2021 and 2024. Staff does not recommend penalties for each notice that is sent out. For example, in 2023, staff issued 97 notices of probable noncompliance and ultimately penalized KGS for 47 violations. In those cases, KGS pipes were damaged. And in the present order, which deals with 2024, 93 notices of probable noncompliance were issued to KGS, and staff found that 36 alleged violations resulted in damage to natural gas pipelines. KGS responded to staff regarding each of the violations and stated it did not oppose the findings that staff had made. KGS attributed the failures to inaccurate maps or locator errors, and in the cases where a locator error was alleged, the company stated what follow-up action was taken with the employee. And those responses are provided by KGS and are attached to the R&R. Staff believes the order appropriately assesses penalties against the carrier and recommends approval of the order. I'm available, as well as our chief engineer, Paul Owings, is on the call as well to answer any questions you have.
Thank you very much for that description, Hassan. Are there any questions on this item, beginning with Commissioner Keither again?
No questions, but I'm just absolutely horrified at the number. My daughter's first house blew up, but because of something like this, and it's death you're talking about. In many cases, it could be, and so it's very scary. I'm appalled.
And Commissioner Keen.
No questions. I would move approval of the order.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the order as described in this docket. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. Thank you, Hassan.
Thank you.
We now move to our final notice item. This is in docket number 26 EKCE 065COM, and this is a proposed order on complaint in that docket. And we're going to turn back to Mr. Brian Fedotin. Brian, thanks for hanging on with us. And Brian will give the presentation for this item.
Sure. Thank you again. On August 21st, Mr. Nickel filed a formal complaint against Evergy, accusing Evergy of wrongfully assessing him an overdue balance incurred by a friend for different property. But the friend with the overdue balance is also listed on the account that is the subject of this complaint. And the commission has determined that a prima facie case exists. And so Evergy filed an answer citing its tariff and explaining that that Mr. Nichols was living at the address when the debt was incurred and is responsible for $219.68 of the charges in his friend's name. And Evergy stated that a minimum payment of $145.73 is required before service can be restored. Commission staff filed a report and recommendation opining that Mr. Nichols is responsible for $137.70 of that past due amount. Staff agreed with Evergy that its tariff permitted it to withhold service until Mr. Nichols pays his past due. But they came up with a smaller number because staff excluded $81.98 attributable to Miss Cadillo, who's Mr. Nichols' friend. So that produces the $137.70 that staff believes Mr. Nichols is responsible for. Neither Mr. Nichols nor Evergy responded to staff's report and recommendation. This order agrees with Evergy and staff that the tariff permits Evergy to withhold service until Mr. Nichols pays the portion of the past due balance. It finds that neither Nichols nor Evergy rebut staff's recommendation that Mr. Nichols remains responsible for $137.70. And therefore, this order states that Evergy can withhold service to Mr. Nichols until he pays the outstanding $137.70. So this order adopts staff's report and recommendation and essentially denies the formal complaint. With that, I'm available for questions.
All right, thank you, Brian. Are there any questions on this item, beginning again with Commissioner Keither
No questions.
and Commissioner Keen?
No questions from me either. I'd move approval of the order.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the order as described in this docket. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
With that, we have come to the conclusion of all the items noticed on today's business meeting agenda. If there's nothing further to come before us this morning, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, please vote aye.
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 Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you all. Take care.
Aye.
Take care.